Alright, let's talk about sinners. We start off with our main character Sammy all roughed up walking into a church. This moment is most definitely not foreshadowing for what's to come. His father is like, "Son, what happened? Did you let the white woman get you?" Next we meet Smoke and Stack, and the two are buying this barn or whatever from this white guy that is most definitely not a racist. They hand him the money and tell him to get the fuck out of their property. Then they pull up on Sammy and he goes with them to this truck with supplies for their new club. And today was supposed to be opening day, but Smoke says they should wait, and Stack is like, "Fuck that, we opening tonight." So many things could have been avoided had he listened to Smoke, but I digress. Smoke goes to town and finds a little black girl and tells her to watch the truck, and if anyone looks suspicious, blow that damn horn. And he gives her a lesson about negotiation. He speaks with a Chinese merchant, but while this is happening, he hears the horn blowing, so he rushes outside and finds two dudes trying to rob him, so he shoots both of them. Then he buys a sign from the Chinese merchant. Side note, the wife is fine as shit, I just wanted to say that. Meanwhile, Stack and Sammy visit a raging alcoholic who has a blues fetish, and Stack wants him to perform at his club. He declines initially, but when Stack hands him this bottle of magical beer, he nuts in his pants and accepts the offer. Drunk and Sammy perform on the street, and Stack promotes the club opening that night, but Sammy meets his black lady who is very attractive but also a hoe, because she outright states that she has a husband and continues to flirt with him. All these hoes going, what a shame. In the distance, Mary is staring at Stack, so Sammy goes to alert him of this matter. She approaches and presses him for having sex with her, then abandoning her. You know, typical nigga activity. But as this is going on, Smoke pulls up on Witch Lady and he asks her to cook food for the club. She calls him out for not telling her what he really wants, and they have fun during the scene. I cannot show on YouTube or this video will be taken down. We see the other squad pull up to a plant station and we meet Cornbread. Stack offers him some real bread to work for him tonight, and at first he like nah, but his hot wife hears it and convinces him to go. I only included this in so I can talk about his wife, by the way. After this, we're introduced to Remick, the main villain, who happens to be a vampire. Even worse, he's Irish. Unfunny joke aside, you may be wondering where the vampires came from, and honestly I couldn't tell you if I wanted to. I've seen this movie 3 times now, and the only conclusion I can come up with is that they needed a random horror element to call this a horror movie, which I don't know why they picked vampires since they're probably the worst fucking option. Do you truly realize how many weaknesses these guys have? It's like every iteration of them have a new debuff. These niggas are ass. For example, in this movie they can't enter a building unless they're invited in, which makes no fucking sense. At least they have manners, I guess. This is why he begs this random clan couple to let him in, and they do it. Some vampire hunters show up to warn them, but white woman refuses to listen to a minority, so they do. Then she goes through the house to find that her husband is now a vampire, and she presumably becomes one as well. Who cares about that though, because it's Club Juke open at night and everyone is drinking, partying, dancing, and having a good time. Stack and Witch Lady hand this dude a free drink, and Smoke gets mad at them because that's bad business, but they tell him to just vibe. We see Sammy and Black Coat flirting some more until Mary walks in and he asks if she's in the wrong place. He tells her he's with the twins, something he does a lot in this movie to gain clout, and she brushes him off. But he's like, nah, dead ass, so she goes to have a drink with him, but Smoke catches her and tells Stack to make her leave before he handles her. He tries and she refuses to go, then they have a tense moment. Yeah, who cares? Sammy finally performs his song, which basically boils down to "fuck you dad," and we get a lore drop of how some people can make music so good that it like transcends time or some shit. And we see hella different time periods of music, from tribal music to electric guitars to ghetto hoes shaking ass. Honestly, have no clue why this is important to the plot, because all they had to say was Sammy made demonic music and vampire guy liked demonic music. That would have been way simpler, but maybe someone in the comments can explain what relevance this moment had. We see the entire place burning down as Remick watches from the distance. He tells his vampire buddies that's the mission, and they head towards the club. Then we see Sammy and Black Hole in private and they getting it on. Sammy trying to take a bite out of that cookie, if you know what I mean, and she like, chill, I ain't even washed off yet, and this nigga still eats. My brother in Christ, no shorty is fine enough for you to be eating dirty poom poom. That is disgusting. This is irrelevant to the plot entirely, but I wanted to showcase the disgust of this man. Vampire motherfuckers try to get in the club, but Cornbread like, nah, he tells the other guys to go get the twins. Remick tries to negotiate, then they start talking about Sammy singing, and this should have been the initial alarm that they were on some weird shit. Cause how the fuck can they tell who was singing and they weren't even in the club? Even though they're all black with the exception of Mary, there has to be some form of racism. Smoke tells them to take that white ass on, and Remick continues to plead his case until Smoke uses his trusty tool, a gun, and they made their way back. Now this could have been done here, but dumb bitch Mary tries to talk with them, then Remick starts speaking nonsense talking about, I wish I could have saved your mother, but it's not too late to save you. This causes her white woman senses to start tingling, and she goes back to the club. There she seduces Michael B. Jordan, and they go to the back to have some fun. But Smoke needs Stack for something, so he sends Sammy to go get him, but when he opens the door and sees what's going on, he refuses to interrupt. So Smoke hits the Thanos.
Fine. I'll do it myself.
But when he opens the door, he's greeted with an unpleasant surprise. She was a vampire. Yup, she was a vampire. Yup, she was a vampire. Yup, she was a vampire. She bit Stack, now he's dead. This bitch is crazy, Sammy's guilty, they're all scared. Stack is dead, Smoke lost his mind, the party's over. To my fellow black men out there, this is why you gotta watch out for white women. I know for a fact some of y'all niggas would have fell for this trap too.
It's me, I'm niggas.
Jokes aside, Cornbread shows back up after taking a piss and Drunk Man says he's shit at his job and tells him Stack is dead. He asks to come in, but Wish Lady is like your fat ass ain't never needed an invite before. And he continues to come up with bullshit excuses, but they not having it. He like, at least give me my paycheck, and when Smoke goes to hand him the money, he pulls him outside and tries to bite his arm. But Smoke shoots him in the head and runs back inside. So you're telling me they can't answer without an invite, but they can pull someone out of their property? That whole invite bullshit makes no sense because they clearly don't have manners. Everyone goes back inside, and then Stack starts talking through the door. They're like, what the hell, ain't you supposed to be dead? And he like, nah G, that shit was a slight setback. I'm good now though. Wish Lady warns Smoke to not fall for it, and when Sammy puts his ear up against the door, he kicks it down. But Wish Lady pours garlic on him, so he runs away. She tells him that they're dealing with vampires. Good job, it only took you 90 minutes to figure that out, and they all gear up to fight these motherfuckers. Chinese Lady points out the man on the floor surrounded by what seems to be a pool of blood, so they take his body outside as the vampire motherfuckers show up feeling a little groovy, cause they singing and dancing and shit all of a sudden. I'm gonna be honest, putting out heat like this would've had me ready to join them, I can't lie. We go back to our heroes in a circle, and I didn't even notice this until my friend pointed him out on the third watch, but
who the fuck is this nigga, bro?
I'm sick, bro thinks he's a part of the team. Anyways, they all eat garlic to prove that they're not vampires, and Black Host starts stalling until Smoke uses his trusty tool, then Drunk Guy starts freaking out because of all the alcohol he's consumed tonight. They realize that what they thought was a pool of blood earlier was actually wine or some shit like that, and the dude they threw out starts banging on the door, but before they could open it in time, Cornbread had the snack for himself. Chinese merchant motherfucker from earlier, who's a vampire now, tries to get Chinese Lady to come out, and they tell her to not listen to him. Then Remy shows up to preach about femboys or whatever the fuck. He threatens to kill Chinese Lady's child, so she starts screaming and he says some freaky shit in Chinese.
You some freaky ass nigga!
They close the door and head back inside, but Chinese Lady starts going bonkers about how she's gonna go crazy or some shit. They try to calm her down, but when the vampire starts singing outside, she loses her mind and does the single-handedly stupidest thing in this entire movie.
Come on in, you motherfucker!
Man, you stupid bitch!
You dumb fucking bitch. What in the actual fuck did you gain from this? Cause it ain't like you proceeded to do some shit. No, you just screwed everyone over for no reason. Remick like, I bet. And the whole squad pulls up in the club, and I'm just gonna go over notable moments in this sequence. Chinese Lady misses a damn Molotov, then kills her husband and herself. So this dumb bitch had a breakdown over her daughter, then proceeded to make her an orphan. What a great parent. Wish Lady gets bitten by Stack, so Smoke kills her because of a promise they made earlier, and Sammy escapes the barn, but Remick chases after him. He catches Sammy, and instead of turning him into a vampire right here, he does the stereotypical villain shit and gives this long ass monologue which gives Smoke enough time to come from behind and stab him with the wooden stake as the sun rises, burning all of them. Initially, I thought this meant all the vampires were dead, but we see Stack and Mary very much alive in the post-credit scene and explain that vampires must be killed individually. This is complete bullshit because I think burning alive would be a sure way to kill vampires who have a known weakness for sunlight, and these two fuckers shouldn't be alive right now. Anyways, Smoke tells Sammy to get rid of the demon guitar, and this scene from the beginning of the movie plays out. His father also tells him to drop the guitar, but even after everything that just happened, he keeps it for some goddamn reason. The white guy from the beginning of the movie shows up to kill some black people, but Smoke kills him and ends his clan members, and that's the end. This movie gets an 8 out of 10. Anyways, that's all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next vid. Peace.